KC from down south. How are you, young man?
Ray, it's good to be back. It is pouring rain down here. Tornadoes, hurricanes, who knows? But just glad to be back talking with you. It's been too long.
Well, life goes on. Just as a quick personal note between you and I trying to get my life squared away after my good friend passed away. So the wife and I took a little vacation. We went down to Fort Lauderdale to visit some relatives. We love it down there. So we went down to Hollywood, Florida, where Jimmy Buffett's got one of those Margaritaville hotel resorts right on the beach with the walk, and had a cocktail on the beach and went in the water.
Beautiful. No
yes,
sharks.
Well, no sharks, but I did stand in the water for a few minutes with that seaweed that's washed up from wherever the hell it washed up from, Africa it comes in from.
Yeah.
They were watching it. It hits every year, but it's a pretty heavy one this year. So I ended up getting some spots on my leg. I don't know what the heck it was. It wasn't really itchy and stuff. I went to the doc, and when I got home, I had to put some salve on it to kill whatever was in the water that attacked my legs. That I'm like, some kind of a seaweed COVID or something. I don't know what it was, but
well, you survived. You survived.
I always survive, KC.
Oh, we know.
I've had it thrown at me, brother, and and I survived it. But so we're back home. So we apologize to our listeners, but we're gonna speed up the format these days, so you don't have to hear that much of me, but you still catch our witty commentary on some of the news and whatnot. So let's get right to it. What's up first tonight, KC?
Well, the first thing we have to talk about is this video. It's all over the internet. Everyone can find it. In a situation in France where a human being decided to take some kind of sharp object and start attacking children in a park. Infants, under 2 years old, under 3 years old. And then what we really wanted to comment on, too, is it seems like nobody in the park had the situational awareness to take action. One guy was trying to wave his backpack around, A for effort, I guess. But, when you got women and children literally being attacked and no one seems to come to assistance quickly enough.
Right.
Shocking video out of France.
Casey, we've talked in the past about go bags. Remember, we've had, I think right at the beginning of our podcast life, we talked about what, and so why would you think about a go bag? Because take the word that the phrase that you brought up was situational awareness. Friends, you gotta pay attention. What the hell is around you? It's a jungle out there. It really is. When I flew to Florida, I hate flying there because I don't get to carry my weapon with me. And it makes me feel so naked. They get that show Naked and Afraid on one of them cable shows and whatnot. Stupid show. It's got a good point. You're out there naked. You got to fend for yourself. Quite honestly, the way I look at it in America here, all the rules and gun laws, they're trying to strip us of our clothes.
Yeah.
We can't pay attention to situational awareness. We have they get that great saying out there, don't bring a knife to a gunfight, right? So here's France. Their situational awareness is waving to a bunch of people, right? One day, who they're waving at? The Italians who are taking over, and the Germans, they're like, oh, I thought they were just here to drink the wine and have some fromage, No, they don't give a crap about your cheese. They want to kill you, right? And this is what's happening here in this country. As a matter of fact, I can look at all the stories we're going to go over tonight, except for maybe one. But it all entails a lot of situational awareness, and people aren't paying attention. They want to, the cabal that wants to end America, they want to take and make us naked and vulnerable. And we got to start standing up to this real soon, because you know, this Syrian national in France. I don't know what the heck he was even doing there. Shouldn't he be there defending his own people in Syria of everything that's going on there, which is probably a 3.5 hour show we can talk about. Um, 3 and 4 year old kids stabbed. Are you serious? And if you watch the video, people just jogging by. One God, you're gonna probably have to beat me out on this one later, like Casey with this bag. It's like sliding down the slide board right in front of him, like, woo, I'm having fun. Are you friggin' kidding me?
It's nonsensical, and hey, I get it. If the guy's got a firearm and I get you got to duck first and kind of figure out. I know you got to get an edged weapon, but you can distract. You can throw something at him, and hopefully there's two people. One go for the weapon, the other go for the neck. You
Well, the
know.
guy who's doing it, in my estimation, is and ladies aren't going to like this. He was just a little friggin' girl. He was in there attacking 3 and 4 year old children and a mother with a baby push cart. Are you kidding me? What kind of a man is that? All right, I'm serious. I thought you were a better terrorist than that. All right, but with that being said, here's the rule, people. When you see somebody attacking children, get off your ass, forget about your life because your life is worth nothing. You've already had pizza and a prom and maybe some kids. Get that son of a bitch, poke his eyes out, bite his face off, grab his knife. 2 or 3 of you can overcome it. Somebody's going to get hurt, but maybe a few children will survive. You French little weenies. I don't think we should ever come to your defense ever again. Macron's out there in friggin' China sucking up to that son of a bitch out there who's a murderer. Wow, that's where I am.
Well, we feel you on that. Just to lighten the mood a little bit because these stories get so frustrating. There's a case out of a familiar area to both of us,
Yeah,
Taunton, Massachusetts,
well,
where apparently I guess the parents there and coaches are real tough guys and gals, and they're threatening the umpires. So the umpires for their little league game, for their little league playoffs, they all said we are not going to umpire any games until things get calmed down or straightened out or there's some kind of resolution here. But
mhm.
it's just funny. I know France versus USA, this and that, but it's the same everywhere in the Western world. You got people being tough when they shouldn't be tough and don't need to be tough.
Right where children
People
are.
being weak when they're not
Right where
when they need to
children
be
are.
tough.
What are we
Yeah,
supposed to be teaching these kids? Dominic Damiano. He's the little league umpire over 30 years doing this, Casey. And to me, sometimes these little league, if it's a big enough city, they throw a few dollars to these guys to go out on their weekends and uh, you know after school when they to get out of work and do a little bit of umpiring and help out. They throw them enough money to buy a 12 pack of beer sometimes. Uh, you know, these guys need to be put on a pedestal. These women, these men, even kids. I think, if I remember correctly, Casey, when you were a kid in college, you used to put time in at the summer camp, helping kids out, building little minds and bodies, showing about fairness and whatnot. Now you get these parents out there, these pieces of shh, so you don't have to beat that one out on me later. But these piece of turds, parents who sit there and get on this guy. Are you kidding? What are you teaching your children? And you parents who aren't doing anything about it, holding meetings, having these parents, there needs to be a law. I am so sick and tired of it. You know what? If you don't like the Little League here, go to France and play Little League there. See how that makes out for you. You know,
yeah,
I am sick and tired of you. Taunton, you just brought up a kid that in the Air National Guard or whatever he was in was, downloading top secret documents. What's going up with you people? Really?
yeah,
You you knuckleheads? Get
yeah.
get your homes in gear. You know what? There's going to be a big fight coming soon, and you guys are just worried about a A guy named Dominic who's been teaching, little league umpiring for 30 years. Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what? I know where my besides France, I'm turning my back on Taunton when it hits the fan around here.
I
Done.
mean, yeah. From my understanding, basically what happened is the umpire called time, but the pitcher threw the ball anyways. Fine mistake, and the guy got a hit, and he got a double. Mostly because the infield was not playing because the umpire called time, so they called dead ball.
Yeah.
Next pitch, the kid strikes out, and the parents go ballistic and chase the umpires into the parking lot. Like, what are our priorities here? Like, come on.
Well, you know, uh, I don't know. Is there a national little league society group or something? You know, kick them out. Kick them out.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable.
Well, another thing that was another shocking incident that just kind of shows to the state of our civilization at the moment. Apparently, in the great state of Texas, a 7-Eleven. It was quite the incident, Ray. What do you got on that one?
What do I got on that one? This is what is going on with you inner city Utes, as they say, in the movies. Oh my gosh. So 7-Eleven, we all know 7-Eleven. Gasoline, uh, pretty decent coffee, uh, and actually a kind of a religious oriented business. 7-Eleven is. If you people don't know what I'm talking about, get the Google Nader going, read up on it. So, you know, some workers there refused to sell a cigar to a minor. I can understand that, man. It's like, what do you mean I can sell me a cigar? Really? So you know what? Two adults and three juveniles said, enough's enough, man. You're not going to sell me a cigar. So in June 3rd, uh, they went ballistic on this place in Mesquite, Texas. I don't know if that's where that is in proximity to Dallas, but I can really care less. But the two adults were identified as a 19-year-old um, and a 21-year-old. And I saw the pictures on the internet, and I'm not going to comment too much. But if I had to guess, when I look at those pictures, I am not surprised. It's a breakdown, once again, of family values, of what's going on. Three juveniles were charged with 2 counts of assault, criminal mischief, and theft. I guess they got their cigar, one way or another, right?
Well, if you're gonna assault someone, you might as well get what you were denied earlier. I mean,
What?
come on, you know.
That you're going to go to jail, you better savor that last cigar, But the videos in there shows, suspects jumping over the counters, assaulting the clerk, throwing items at an employee. Parents, parents, you know what? If you can't control yourself on a football field or a little league field, pardon me, with umpires, if you can't throw yourself at a knife wielding Syrian piece of crap in a playground, at least keep your kids out of the 7-Eleven, and tell them it's not really cool to steal cigars and beat the daylights out of people. I, all three of these first stories, Casey, are just it's the slow death of civilization. It really is. And you got the George Soros is of the world spending tons of money, putting in these politician, judges who are just letting this stuff go. Uh, there's stories about him giving up his business enterprise and the $25 billion to his kid and stuff. Folks, you better start lining up and getting tough real soon, because before you know it, it's going to be out of hand. You're the one. You are going to be at that little league game. You are going to be in that park with your grandkid. You are going to be picking up a cup of coffee after buying 30 gallons of gasoline, maybe a bag of ice for the family cookout, who's going to get in some serious crap. And you're going to be like, I don't understand. And you should have been listening to Casey and Ray This course of action landing zone podcast, and you know what? And conservative news outlets, if somebody up there is listening, it's time for you guys to really, you know, I look what's happening to Fox and Fox News, and I just shake my head, and go, what the heck is going on with you? And then I look at the numbers of Newsmax, and how this, you know, Eric Bowling's numbers have skyrocketed. You got this dude out of WMAL, Chris Plant. I listened to him um, on the radio during the day. Of course, I got to do it over the internet because I don't live in DC. Who the heck would? And so I listened to him, and you know, he's the I don't know how to say the new Rush Limbaugh, but he's got the message out there, and people they'll be attacking him soon because he just got a 9 o'clock slot on Newsmax with some people. He's got a great show. Off to a little rough start, but he's a radio dude. Radio people. I'd be a good radio dude. You know why? I
Why's
mean, you and
that?
I see each other right now, right? Look at me. Uh, I look like I just swam across the Rio Grande. I was working
the,
out in the yard like all week.
is that
And
the
we got
old face for radio, voice
I
for print?
got face for radio. And although Plant is about my age and whatnot, he's probably just a tad sharper. Funny note is though he used to brag about being a Bud Light drinker a long time ago.
Oh,
Now he
careful.
now he looks at you at the TV and he goes, "Yeah, I think he's doing Yingling Lights now." Is
It's so funny, right? Yingling is everywhere now. There's billboards all over town down here in the southern United States um, for Yingling. And Yingling used to never be really west of the Mississippi because they couldn't guarantee its freshness and coldness. At the big cities, they could get it to, of course. But now, they're taking advantage. Oldest brewery in the United States. It's a weird name, but they basically spelled their name phonetically. I don't know if it's German
yeah,
or Polish, one of those.
yeah.
But they spelled it phonetically, called it Yingling,
Well,
and it ain't bad.
no, it's a good beer. I was we had it in my little New England state uh, decades ago, and then it went away because I don't know if people are familiar with this certain group of Italian fellas. Anyways, they they run they run the distribution of or at least they did. Maybe I don't know if they still do, but anyways, at the time when they had their fingers and everything, all of a sudden, because there are factions of them guys, and I guess them ones in Pennsylvania weren't playing nice with them ones in New York and them ones in Boston and Rhode Island and whatnot. So anyway, you couldn't get it. They said, "Yeah, watch this. Boom, it's not licensed. You can't sell it in Rhode Island." So it kind of went away, and I tell you what, I forgot about it. And I had family, and we'd drive in even as a young man and whatnot, and we'd go buy different beer. And back in them days, though, there was no microbreweries, so you're kind of stuck with what there was, and a lot of never local ones like Narragansett beer in Rhode Island was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
It went away, it came back, and they haven't improved on it, if you know what I mean. But they had like the place I was from, where Joe Biden's from. They had down in Wilkes-Barre, which is just south of Scranton, which Joe just spent a few short years was, and he brags about it. Anyways, Stegmaier beer was this local stuff, and it was like, oh my gosh, was it hard? But that's what they all drank down there, just like the old timers drink Narragansett in Rhode Island, and there's a couple other local ones that people used to drink. So uh, we used to get out, and then I remember my dad one time. I think he bought this case of Yingling. I, I'm looking at it, and I was like 18 years old. I was down there for I don't know. I think one of my cousins had a kid or something. I don't remember. I'm looking at this beer. And I'm like, what the heck is this? I'm like, that's the what the heck? It's beer, right? So so I drank it and I went, oh, that's pretty good. I came back here and you couldn't get it because back in my little New England town, when I was a kid, drinking age was 18, so you used to be able to pick up beer at 18. And then wrongfully brought it slowly up to 21. But luckily, it was just like right after Vietnam. But you know what? Good, sign the line. Go out there and fight for your country, right? And
Right.
as it,
Well, speaking of Pennsylvania, a little incident this past weekend, and I'm just so curious as to how it's going to be handled. Apparently, I-95 northbound in the Philadelphia area, there was a
uh,
truck explosion, or it caught on fire, ended up collapsing the road. All 4 or 5 lanes collapsed. Of course, 95 goes from Maine all the way down to Miami, essentially. And it just couldn't help but wonder. I remember last year, hurricane hits Florida. Some of those little islands out off the coast, they have one bridge to get there. 3 days later, bridge is rebuilt. At least good enough to get supplies over there due to a
yeah,
certain governor of Florida and his leadership. And I can't wait to see how this pans out. If it's going to take months to get the busiest highway in the United States fixed, or if they actually going to focus, maybe get the Army Corps of Engineers in there and do something. But what do you think, Ray? How's this going to pan out in the great state of Pennsylvania?
I love the analogy. It's going out to like Captiva Island and whatnot down in Florida, because we vacationed down there. My wife and I we took my son one time when he graduated high school, uh, and he was 18. Uh, I think they still frowned upon consider a minor for smoking cigars. So I bought the cigars, and we sat on the beach drinking Red Stripes and smoking cigars. But so what do I think about that? I think you're absolutely right. I think you know uh, I think Fetterman had a statement where he said, we're going to take care of that bridge in California because I think that moron.
Well, he
Uh,
got half right. At least they're talking about a bridge. I mean, 50% ain't bad. Bat 500, you're in the Hall of Fame or something.
and I'm only kidding. I don't know what Fetterman said because you know what? It doesn't matter what he says. The guy had a curveball thrown at him health wise, and you knuckleheads in Pennsylvania still allowed him to be voted in. Now, I didn't say you voted for him. I said you allowed him to be voted in because, quite honestly, I can't see how the numbers swayed for him. Period. He was reading the other day a script, and it was like, uh, it said like a statement. I don't know. The grass is blue. And then in parentheses, it says, say it again. The grass is blue. So he's reading. He goes, the grass is blue. Say it again. The grass is blue.
Oh,
I mean,
jeez.
uh, so just like Joe Biden, Fetterman's got a team of people that are just doing it all for him. He's just standing up there, and I'm not even going to say he's a mouthpiece because he's just not with it, the poor fella. Uh, Now you don't even know which one I'm talking about. So it's the same. It's the
Yeah,
same I do too.
exactly.
The guy tripped over a friggin' sandbag at the Air Force Academy.
The
Uh,
best thing about that is they map out where the president's supposed to be and not be. And I have information that he just wasn't supposed to be walking that way. He
was
was
not
supposed
supposed to be walking that
Had
way.
he not walked that way, there would not have been a sandbag in the way for him to trip over. He should
So
have.
as
So it's just him getting lost.
as their loser presser people would say, let's circle back to our number one story, and when we're talking about situational awareness.
There it is.
So, so you got Fetterman who can't even read a piece of paper, situation awareness. They're gonna have to like I don't know, like read it in his ear and let him speak it. Read it in his ear, and Joe, Joe, you need to go away, dude. First of all, I think you're gonna have some big legal problems coming
Yeah.
uh, because I think what our FBI and CIA and Department of not so intelligence has done with Trump by indicting him on his documents. Uh, you have to do it to the others. You got to bring Pence in, all right. You got to bring Biden in. I'm sure there's statute of limitations on Hillary Clinton, but
Well, there's already precedent for the Clintons. He had documents in his sock drawer, or whatever. But again, the main point with all
oh,
that.
Hillary with her server.
Oh, her server. Yep, her
Yeah,
server.
she wasn't. She was just Secretary of State. I think it's
Right,
a cabinet thing, but she was just Secretary of State. She wasn't president.
right.
Well,
And
Biden,
Biden was VP.
yeah, Biden had stuff back when he was just a senator.
Right. Now, maybe it's possible the fact that he is president now, he could magically declare them.
No, I don't. I don't think
No, can't go
you
back
can
retroactive.
posthumously do that. I but the fact is he had him. You know,
Right.
same with Pence. You know, and then and the other thing I really want to say, I think it's a farce. It's a farce what they're doing to Trump.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's what we want to get to is another Trump indictment saying that
this thing
he
that
disobeyed. It's all
the guy, they just keep throwing things at him and throwing things at him. Yeah, ultimately, what you know, they have a motivation to do that, right? I don't know what they're afraid of having him president. Country was doing pretty well when he was president, vice what we have now in office. But so I don't know what they're afraid. So what they're doing, I know the answer in my brain, is that they're just trying to end the country. Right?
yeah.
And they're going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing until somebody strikes out. And I'm talking, and I'm
Mm.
going to say the V word. I'm going to say with violence. They're going
Mm.
to strike out because you know what? You put people in the corner and you keep on slapping them and sticking them and poking them. Sooner or later, they lash out. Every animal does. You
Right.
can't do that, and this is what their main motivation is. And once again, I hope somebody at you know the big news medias that might still be a little conservative or trying to get that way or moderate or really decided they want to be true to themselves and their and their whole industry. They got to realize this, and somebody's got to say it, and they got to say enough's enough because uh, I mean, look at China, look at Russia, look at North Korea. How many news channels do they have in those countries?
One
They got.
main one.
I know we have, the DNC is pretty much in charge of the mainstream media: ABC, NBC, MOUSC, NBC. Uh, you know, well, how can MSNBC? What's the MS stand for? It's
Was
my
it Microsoft?
These folks they're driving the world technologically. So you got to go, duh. I said that way back when they took over. I go, what the hell are they doing in news? Oh, we just want to put it online. Yeah, right.
Sure.
So because now look what they did to Elon Musk when he bought Twitter. Thank God for Elon Musk. All the stuff that's going on now, and they're finding about Hunter Biden and whatnot, wouldn't have happened without Elon Musk buying Twitter, firing what 20-30% of his company who are drinking wine all day and whatever they were doing. It's scary, and it would be nice if one of these big these big news organizations will call on us, Casey, and give us a minute on you know at the maybe on the five can call us. You know,
That'd be quite the appearance.
well, you know what? I tried one time. We had a uh, our media company does some little apps and whatnot. We had this one called the CREC app, CREQ.
Yeah.
And I like the CREC because I got a nautical background in the Navy. So CREC, things get screwed up and you sink, and there's a wreck, and you're in the sea. So the whole thing was about the COVID, and the CREC was just the capital C and then REQ, and the C stood for COVID, and REC was requirements, really. So if you wanted to go to a restaurant back then, you can go. You look at our app, and uh, and I wish they were more, would say, what's required to walk into this place. Not what are they. advertising, because everyone was like, "Oh yeah, you have to have your face mask on. You need to, wipe from front to back and back to front, and have socks on, and all these stupid things." But what was really going on? Because you know what, a couple bars that I knew used to actually be able to go sit at the bar because they said, "Screw you," you know, and then they had people outside, and actually, if the cops are coming and everything, all of a sudden everyone made space and wore masks. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But people would put that up, and sooner or later the cops left you around. Now we know the truth about masks and vaccines and whatnot, and the guys who pushed it, like Tucker Carlson, at get with the old term 86th. You get
Mm.
douched right out of the mainstream, and yeah, so
It's a
that.
mad world, Ray.
Well,
But
that's where it's all going.
hopefully the
Situation,
listeners. Well, I'm just hoping the
situational
listeners pick.
awareness, and then seeing what the true story is and being prepared for what these liberals, and I call communists, are trying to do to this country. And you folks, you better wake up. You better wake up and be prepared. And look what's going on around you. So
Open your eyes. But most importantly, Ray, who brought us the show today? Speaking of bars, speaking of getting out on the town, who brought us the show this evening?
the good graces of the Go Do app, beautiful app, beautiful app. It's and I always said it, and I'll say it every time. You get the log on. It's free. You download it. I hope you all do it. Just like I hope you all like these videos and subscribe to our channels, because we get all kinds of crazy stuff that'll be coming up. Hopefully, everyone I know will just give us the time to do it, where I got to keep on getting called away and taking care of things. But the Go Do app, yeah, go in there. You rate the restaurant you're at. It's a nightlife as real time as you can get it. So if you go to Mama Luigi's tonight and you have a nice glass of wine and a good lasagna, take a picture, put it up, hit it, let other people see what's going on tonight. Because tomorrow night, that's not going to be there. The data wipes out every day at 6 in the morning local time. So tomorrow, you get a whole new opportunity to do it right again. It's a beautiful thing, and I love especially the brewery tab. When I was down in Fort Lauderdale, it worked great. You click on the brewery tab, shows you where all the breweries are, shows you how to drive there if you want to walk there if you're close enough. Um, it's beautiful. It's all geolocation stuff, so you don't have to worry about coming from California and trying to download a new app for Fort Lauderdale, or being from Boston and going out to LA and having to download some local app there. It's there. It's there. It's fun. It's free. If you own a bar or a restaurant, you ought to be downloading it and putting up the information every day. What's going on there? Take the pictures of your bartenders, of your entertainers, and even of your crowd, because you know what? I want to see what's there before I go.
And that's the GoDo app, GODU, the GoDo app on both the Apple App Store and Google Play.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
Ray,
it.
it was good catching up. It's been too long. We'll be back soon, though. Hopefully, there's no more violence between now and then, but I'm not counting on it.
Well, the whole goal is Cat Stevens being on the peace train and loving thy neighbors. But the reality is, better have situational awareness. All right,
That's it.
kids.
Signing off.
Roger that.